Good afternoon. Welcome to Big Al's Eats. We're going to cook a little chili this afternoon. I'm going to use my original recipe, the one that we call Pa's chili. But this time I'm going to change it up a little bit. We're going to put some alligator sausage in it. We're going to jack it up a notch or two and create a different flavor profile. First thing we got to do first, take my weeby knife and we got to chop up a bell pepper. Recipe calls for a half of a bell pepper. And hey y'all, it's a windy day and the wind is blowing. We expecting lots of bad weather tonight starting around 1 or 2 a.m. But right now we're just getting it's a beautiful day out here. We're just having, you know, like, I don't know, 35, 40 mile an hour gust of wind. So, and it's pollen season. So we're gonna get this stuff chopped up, get it sauteed, and get this Pa's chili going. We got that bell pepper chopped up. Let's get it in the pan over here. We get ready to saute it. We'll pre-cook this and the onion just a little bit, and then we can add the rest of the ingredients. But before we do that, I've got to chop up an onion. I'm going to do a whole onion. Won't take just a minute to get this. Section it up, chop it up. I'm cutting this in rather small pieces. That way it can cook down a little bit quicker. All right, there you go. We got half of that onion. We'll do the other half and then we'll start sauteing. All right, let's get this in the pan. We'll start getting everything sauteed. It sure is windy today. Trying to get this chili done before the storm comes. All right, let's go to the stove, to the Blackstone. We're gonna hit it with the side burner, get this sauteed up, and get this chili on the road, y'all. Y'all stick around. Let's get it sauteed. All right, let's fire this Blackstone up. Let's get this going. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to put any oil or anything in here. I am going to hit it with a couple of dashes of cold smoked salt. A couple of little cranks. Season this in layers. All right, got a little sizzle going on. We'll stir it around just a little bit, get everything going together. We'll cut it on low and we'll let it go ahead and start sauteing. Let the onions and the bell pepper get a little translucent. While we're doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut up the alligator sausage, get it ready to go in here. All right, here we go. We got some alligator sausage here. Crescent City Meats. It's out of Matari. I think that's how you pronounce it. Matari, Louisiana. Really good, flavorful sausage. If you see this in your grocery store, I got this at Rouse's grocery store in Gulf Shores, Alabama. So I'm going to take it out, get it chopped up, and get it in there with those onions. And I'm going to pull this skin off. The sausage is actually very tender, but I'm gonna pull this skin off so it can actually blend in better. So let me get this done. I got 3 links here I gotta do. We'll be back in a minute, and we'll get this all chopped up after I get it skinned, and show you what the next step is in making this alligator chili. Y'all stick around. All right, we got it all skinned out. I'm going to chop this up now. I got this big old knife here. I'm just going to slice it in little pieces there and chop it up real fine. This is going to take a couple minutes, so hey, we'll be back. Get this all chopped up. And we got some ground beef we've got to brown. So stick around, got more to come. Just trying to get this chopped up real fine right now. Chop until you drop. All right, that looks good to me. Let's get it. All these alligator sausage put in here with the onions and bell pepper. And we'll put it back on and cook this sausage just for a few minutes. I've already pre-cooked the onions and bell pepper. Now I'm going to pre-cook this alligator sausage just for a minute or two. I don't know how well you can hear me. We've got a lot of wind today, so, you know, maybe I should have worn my lapel mic. We'll see how it turns out. Let's get this sauteed up, and then the next thing we're going to do is saute some hamburger meat. Ground chuck. Chuck browned up. I'm going to dump it in the same pot. I took the alligator sausage up with the onions and pepper, set it to the side over here. And then we'll just get this browned up, and we can add all the rest of the ingredients to it. And I'll go over those ingredients with you in just a few minutes. Hey, look what I got. I got some of that leftover Gargano's pizza. It's been sitting out a few minutes. It's room temperature. While that ground chuck over there is browning up, I thought I might well have me a little, whoop, that wind still blowing, y'all. Might as well have me a little taste of Gargano's pizza. Man, it don't get no better than that right there. Man. Mr. Gentleman, that right there is goat lipping. God dog, goat lipping, I tell you. Oh, man. Let me get back over there and get that stuff going over there. I ain't got time to be fooling around over here. That's browning up nicely. Couple more minutes and we'll be back in business. I got that chuck browned up, it's nicely done. I'm gonna go ahead and put the alligator sausage back in there with the peppers and onions. Stir that around a little bit, get it incorporated. Then the recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of ground chuck. What I put in here was about 1 pound. And the alligator sausage, it was actually 1 pound. So I'm going a little over with the meat, but you know, it don't have to be exact. So the next thing I want to do is add my seasonings. turn this down lower so I can get those seasonings. And I've bagged everything up. And what we've got here is got a bay leaf right here. I'm gonna put it in there. And then I've got all my other seasonings. I'm just gonna pour them all in there. I pre-measured all this while I was in the house. And what I'm gonna do is just get this all stirred in. I'm gonna hold on to that bay leaf just for a second until I get this stirred in. And the seasonings that I put in there, I've got salt's in there, garlic powder, chili powder. It's got some crushed red pepper in it, and got a little bit of cumin in there, just enough to offset the flavor just a little bit. You know, you need a little cumin in there. And there's actually there's a little bit of oregano, crushed oregano. And that's all the seasoning that's in there. All right, get that mixed in, got it going, looking good. Gonna add the tomatoes in there now, and get those open, poured in. And I've got diced tomatoes. I'm just gonna put them in there. 2 cans. And the original recipe does not call for any water. I'm going to put water in it. The original recipe calls for letting it cook for about 30 to 45 minutes. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to let it simmer for an hour or 2. I want all those flavors to meld together. There's a piece of tomato there I saw. I don't want to put that in there. So let's add some water to it. I'm going to put 1 can of water in there. And that's it. That way we can cook it for a longer period of time. So I'm going to put the lid on there, bring it up to a simmer, and we're just going to let it go for probably about an hour. But now before I put the lid on it, I've got to get my opener. I'm using black beans in my chili. Minnie and I like black beans. You can use any kind of bean you want. Or if you don't want to put beans in it, by all means don't. Blowing the cans off. So anyway, let me get all this going before it all blows away. One thing I forgot to tell you is I'm putting beef base in it. You can use a bouillon cube if you like. I like the beef base, and it calls for 1 beef bouillon cube or a teaspoon of beef base. And I'm about out of beef base. We're gonna have to make a store run, but I'll get it all fished out of there, get it put in there. If you don't get exactly one teaspoon in there, it's not gonna matter that much, but it's gonna be close. All right, got that done. Got the beans open, and these beans I drained and rinsed them. Go ahead and put those in there and let those go ahead and cook and get tender. All we got to do now is stir it up, put a lid on it, and let it simmer for about an hour. I will come back after about 15 to 20 minutes, give it a stir, take a look at it, see how it's coming along. So we'll be back in about 30 minutes and I'll show you what we got. All right, we've been cooking for about 30 minutes now. It's starting to get some color to it. The tomatoes are cooking down. We still got about an hour before this will be ready. So we're just gonna let it continue on like it is and before long, we'll have some good old alligator chili, y'all. Let's take a look at this chili. I had to bring it in the house. Man, that wind was blowing so hard out there, we couldn't do nothing. Pollen's blowing around. This chili right here is getting real close, real close. Some of these tomatoes just need to cook down just a little bit more and we'll be ready to go. Hey folks, here's the deal. We got this chili cooked. We'll go in here to get that first bite. It's been simmering for about an hour or so. It's turned out great. First bite, y'all. Man, I tell you what. This is original recipe, but I added that alligator sausage to it. And I believe it made it even better. It gives it another layer of flavor in there that we have never had before. That's really good. Last time I made this, I put a little too much salt in there. I went back and re-seasoned. I didn't go back this time. I put the normal amount of salt in there, and salt-wise, it's perfect. Oh man, that's so good. Y'all try that recipe. I think you'll like it. I'll see y'all down the road. Cheers, folks.